another Friday. And we
Friday.
have Scott joined us again because if you guys recall from last week, Gabe is not going to be joining us for a while.
Yep.
I haven't heard anything. He hasn't said anything, so I don't know
haven't either. Yep.
if baby Gabe has arrived yet or not.
Y'all get the B string until Gabe comes back.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not. Well, hello, everyone. It's Thursday, and my God, it has been a busy week. I don't know about you guys, but holy crap. And I was laughing. We went from having like 3/4 empty shop to now 100% capacity shop.
Hey,
in less than a week.
Nice.
So we have 14 cars at the shop right now. Not including the bus or the Jeep or my Fox Body Mustang.
Y'all are packed.
So it is full. Is Gabe in jail?
Kinda,
yeah.
He will be. He will be.
Oh man.
Dan, my wife watched the video with me earlier of the bus, and she wants it. I mean, she just fell in love with the bus. She was like, "I got to think of a business. I'm gonna cart old people around in it." She just loved that bus for some reason.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude, I went and picked up Tyler for lunch the other day, and you just crack up the whole time because the thing's so stupid.
You can't sit in that bus without just having a shitting grin on your face, just giggling the whole time.
It's just, I don't know. And it's so funny because I'm sure in most countries where they have those, they're like, oh God, it's just a bus. I mean, it'd be like no big deal. But for us, it's just...
Well, we were racing that Toyota minivan without them knowing we were racing, but they totally knew we were racing.
Oh, yeah.
Kick their ass.
Not really. I looked up. I think it has like 128 horsepower or something.
Nice.
Now that's the project you should work on instead of
Lord,
the Fox Body.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, no. Well, it'll be in the video that comes out on Saturday. But yawning already. It's been a long week. When I picked up Tyler to take him to lunch, on the way back, we
broke something.
The AC compressor clutch broke.
Yep.
Oh, great.
So it has no AC right now.
We were about to pull over on the front of the road and be like, all right, something's dead. And then it okay, we're good.
It just gave up. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably off a Camry or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, I looked it up. It's actually kind of expensive. It was like a $450 part.
Dang.
I was disappointed. I was like, what the hell, Toyota? And it figures, right? I was laughing because I'm like, this is our luck. We buy the world's most reliable brand.
Yeah,
we drive it one time and it breaks. and our friends who had that bus, they had it for years. And they were like, oh yeah, it never had a single problem anywhere, ever. Of course.
Yeah.
God. But it is, I love that thing. It's so funny.
I like this idea.
I
don't know what do you win with a pool though, but
yeah, I don't know.
It's definitely a narrow demographic.
Yep.
Like a very narrow audience that would buy that bus.
We've had a few people already reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few people reach out. I think it's gonna be someone's gonna convert it into an RV.
Yeah.
That's what I think is gonna happen. Because that would be a perfect little RV.
I said the same thing to Amy when we were watching it. It would be the perfect one to convert.
Yeah, it's just a cool little thing, and there you go. Someone's like, yes, Josh joined. We were just talking about the bus.
Yeah.
I have no idea how hard it's going to be or easy it's going to be to install a new AC compressor, but
I don't think it'll be too hard.
I hope not. I don't know if you can get to it from the doghouse, or if you have to like underneath. If we have to go underneath, that might be a challenge because I mean, we'd have to look up the total weight of that thing because I don't know if our lift can handle that.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't
We
know
have-
if it's as heavy as you think.
Huh?
I don't know if it's as heavy as you would think.
Probably not. I think our lift can handle 10,000 pounds, right? We have the 4-post is a 10,000. So,
I mean, this is the best idea I've ever heard.
oh, dude. I feel like we need to get a group of people and go out to Fredericksburg and go winery hopping.
Yep.
Or something. We should definitely go downtown with it.
Where are we gonna?
Where
Who knows?
aren't you going to park it? Just pull up.
You just park where you want.
Just
Yeah.
pull up right in
Just
front.
put the hazards on, and
It's like being the president, man. You go where you want. Everyone gets out of the way.
and
Don't
you
you
gotta
know
get out into traffic, which is even more fun.
The best part is you just as you're driving, you could like open up the side door and people could like
God.
you're facing the wrong way. So when you get out of the bus, you'll have to go out into traffic.
I'm watching a video. It doesn't look too bad. Looks like you do it from the top.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, anyway, I love that thing. It's one of my favorite vehicles we've ever had in inventory. So yeah, we have 14 vehicles in the shop. We picked up 3 more in inventory last week or this week or combination of the two. So it is rear-wheel drive. It's actually a dually rears, so it's got 2 tires on each side in the rear. So put a Colombo V12 in the bus.
Nothing would fit.
I don't know. That it's not that much space for the engine.
Do it in you could put it in the back of the van. Cut out part
True.
like the back row of seats and put it back in.
Yeah, just dig a hole.
There you go.
But I feel like it's already so cool. I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to modify the engine at all. I don't think a flat 6. It's got a inline 6, so it needs to be a pretty narrow engine because the engine sits between the 2 front seats.
Yeah.
So
It
can't
might-
be a
It might
big
be
V
adequate.
engine.
It might be adequate for a packed full of Japanese people, but is it adequate to be packed full of American people and still get out of his own way? That's the question.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's not accelerating very fast with just me and Tyler in there. Oh, all you people are wrong. You all aren't thinking straight. It needs a modified Cummins diesel in there.
Yeah.
Duh. Get like
Yep.
3,000 foot-pounds of torque, belching black smoke out the side.
Yeah. It's probably got room for that too.
Oh yeah, no, that's because it's not a huge engine.
Yeah. It's another straight 6 diesel, right?
Yeah.
Put a giant S turbo on it, and
Oh, yeah. Just have a giant snail sticking right out the front of the thing.
we need some torsion bars to strengthen
Cut a
the.
hole, like right in the middle of the front panel. Just cut a big hole.
Oh man.
What do they call that style where they put those giant wings and lips on the front? Bozuko?
Oh, Bozusoku?
But is that how you say
Something
it?
like that. I think
4
it's-
foot long splitters sticking out the front.
Yes. Yes.
Do that.
We
Heck
definitely
yeah.
need to do that. Well, so not only do we have a lot of vehicles, we also have a ridiculous number of wrenching things to do. Was the 13 things on the whiteboard or 14? I can't
That's a
remember now.
lot. I don't even know. It's a lot.
Basically, I think almost every single car in the shop, or maybe every single car in the shop, is there needing some service work of some sort. So
Yeah, you've got your hands full.
yeah. And we have Scott's car now.
Yay.
You were not
pretty bad.
dude, you were not kidding. That oil leak is severe.
Yeah, I was really afraid. By the time the truck came to pick it up, I was afraid I had to drive it out of my neighborhood onto the main road. I was
Yeah.
afraid to do that because I was like, I don't know how much oil is left in this thing. I've used half a bag of kitty litter just to clean up my My garage floor, you know.
Oh,
Dang.
dude, when I picked up the car, the transfer was like, oh, you know, like of course he's Middle East or not Middle Eastern, he's Eastern European, you know, kind of like a Russian accent. He's like, your friend said it leaks oil, but he didn't say it leaks that much oil. And he's like, Porsche underneath is covered in oil. And I'm like,
Oh.
yeah.
So
he
you-
put it on the top deck.
So listen, he drove it into the truck and it was down, and I was like, "Are you going straight there?" Because it otherwise was full. He said, "No, this goes up. I got one more." And I was like, "Man, I just didn't say anything." I was like, "You know what you're doing. I did tell you it was leaking oil, so I just let it
Yeah.
happen."
Yep.
Sorry,
Dude.
guy, if you're watching.
I guess it totally saturated Porsche below it.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I was like,
If
yeah,
you look
I
down
mean-
in the engine at the tray, you know, it looked like there was about a 1/4 inch of sludge on the tray. I don't
yeah.
know.
well,
Yeah, it's bad.
so he backed it off. Thankfully, it wasn't running. And I looked underneath and I already see a puddle from it just being backed off the trailer. I'm like, ooh. So when I drive it back to the shop, and then back it into the shop, and I look out and there's a trail of oil, not like a full solid trail, but it's like drip, 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 you know, lots and lots and lots of drips all the
Wow.
way out the driveway, all the way out to the road. I'm like, oh shit. Like I shut it off, and within a minute there was this much oil on the ground.
I'm particularly nervous about what you're gonna find.
I'm trying to figure out like how. I mean, yeah, I'm so curious to see what happened, like what went wrong, and how is it something that like it wasn't leaking and then now it's leaking like that?
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. It started. I don't know. I don't know. My wife asked me today, when do you think Dan's going to get to it? I said, I kind of don't want him to. I was like, just you let him take his time, honey. I don't even want to really kind of hear what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we're trying to get that other lift installed. So if they can get that going, then we'll probably throw it up on that lift.
I'm on no time frame
So-
for that.
Nice.
Yeah. Someone's asking, what radio do you recommend? It's the
Baofeng.
Baofeng UV5R.
Sounds right. There's a 5R in it. I know that.
Yeah. That's something like that. They're like around $40-$50. I think there's like I want to
There's
say
a
it's
new one out now with a color screen on it.
I think it's
Ooh.
9 watts. Is that right?
5
No.
watts.
Yeah, it's
Well, I
5.
thought they had a 9 watter.
They do. That's
Yeah, I think nine.
technically, isn't that illegal?
Yeah,
all
you
of them
have to
are.
have a license. Well, you definitely have to have a license for the 9 watt, but
All of them, all the
Yeah, I
ones,
know.
even the 5 watters are technically you have to
it's
have
over. I think it's 4 watts as
I
you can
don't
do
think
without a-
anybody's going to be like, "Hey, I'm
I-
confiscate your illegal radio." How would they
Well,
even
especially-
find you?
especially if you're using it on regular CB band frequencies and not like
Yep.
whatever. Anyway,
I might need you to reprogram mine. I accidentally wiped it.
oops. I think I still have the programming somewhere in my computer.
Yeah.
Oh well. Hi. I asked you guys last week about a slowdown light and F1 gearbox light. Turned out to be a hydraulic pipe leak. Bill was only a few $100. That's a win. That is perfect. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice. That works. That's the problem with the slowdown light and the F1 gearbox light is it could be one of like 50 things that goes wrong. By the way, Scott, just giving you a heads up, there is like a 99% chance that your F1 pump is going to die.
Oh yeah, it sounds terrible.
Is it squealing or something?
No,
You know, I
it
know
just,
that-
it just
Wow.
sounds like a dying mouse.
When you hear enough of them, what they're supposed to sound like, and
Yeah.
we heard yours today, I'm like, oh, that thing needs to be replaced.
So
Perfect time to do a conversion.
yeah, listen, I mean, I'm truly on the fence, but I'm going to let the severity of the issue help me decide. Like, how much am I going to have to pay for repair? What am I going to have left? Like, if we get lucky, like the gentleman that just posted about just being a hose, and God willing, it is something like that, then we'll pull the trigger and get it
Well,
converted.
if it's just the rear main seal, then once we determine that, you're already 50% of the way to a conversion
yeah,
because you've already got
right.
the trans
And I guess if I don't have to, the pump, the hydraulic pump being on its way
I mean,
out.
If you need to replace the F1 pump, you can buy an aftermarket one for around like $500.
Mm.
So it's
I
not a
would
terrible.
probably do the accumulator at the same time if you're going to do all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep, you do the F1 pump, accumulator, and under $1,000, it'd run.
Yeah. Well, listen, I would actually be really salty if y'all got into there and had the transmission pulled and I had to pay any money other than towards a conversion. Like, this is the chance to do it, right? Like, I would be a fool even if we could get it done for $500, all that stuff repaired, you know, the hydraulics. So, you know, I feel pretty confident that we will.
The thing is if it is a rear main and we pull the trans out and fix it and everything, you still have to deal with the F1 system, and at some point in the future, it's going to fail. Even if we replace the pump and replace the accumulator, the solenoids can fail. There's a bunch of other failure points on it. These cars are getting old.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
The big thing is
I'm
if the
picking up what you're
actuators.
putting down, my friend.
Well, yeah, the actuators go bad.
When the actuators go bad,
Right.
that's when it's expensive. That's like $8,000. That's usually the one when those go bad. It's like, oh, okay, just cough up the extra money and do the conversion.
Yeah.
That, or if you're paying for a clutch, but I mean, you're effectively paying for all the labor to do a clutch. You said your clutch was brand new, though, right?
It was only 13% when I bought it.
Oh, well, if it's not saturated in oil, then we'll be able to save it. But if it's covered, if it's totally covered in oil, it's done.
I can't imagine that it's not. There's so much oil coming out of the car. I've never, out of all the cars I've owned, all the friends that have repaired, I've never seen a rear main seal leak so much. If
That's why I think it's not the rear main, because usually a rear main is a slow leak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm scared about what this could be. Because
Well,
I have
no,
no
it
idea.
actually makes me not scared, because if it's something else, it's
Oh.
probably much easier to fix.
Well, listen, I know it's in good hands, and
The only weird thing is it only seems to leak when it's on.
Weird.
So it's
It could
not.
be the oil pump.
Could be the oil pump. Very, very possibly the oil pump. But I mean, that means it's not something like a drain plug or a gasket, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that would say a rear main seal would leak under while it's running. Oil pump for sure. Any of the high pressure lines, like the oil cooler lines or anything like that. I mean, it's possible that one of those is just loose and started backing out, or it cracked. I mean,
Didn't you take it to Ferrari and they told you rear main?
yeah, they said they think it's the rear main seal, and then with that coupled with the chance that the clutch is saturated and many other things they tacked on, it was a $40,000 estimate.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Insane. Yeah.
half the price of the car, basically.
I mean, I had to scroll through this app that they gave me to look at it and then pick just the two, the clutch and the rear main seal repair. And that was $16,000, right? Getting rid of all the other junk they tacked on. So, you know, we'll see.
Jeez.
We'll see. It's some shit luck,
Yep.
but we all go through it at some point. So,
Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon enough. So it definitely seems like it's something that's only got oil under pressure, not the sump, not the oil pan. The hard part is it's leaking out onto the rear diffuser, so it's, you know, you can't see it until you get the diffuser off.
Yeah.
Lord knows where it's actually coming from.
Did Ferrari
Hey.
actually take the bottom panel off?
they did because they had pictures of the underside, but y'all better put on a hazmat suit when you pull that tray off, because there's probably half a gallon of oil that's going to go everywhere.
It's gonna be a mess. Can't wait. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not a crack block. This guy says, "Yeah, me too, my friend."
I seriously doubt that.
It seems
This guy's trying to give me another heart attack.
yeah, right.
I mean, between what Steve said and this other guy, like return oil line or the oil cooler, something's got to be in
Yeah.
the line of flow, right, when it's running. So
Yeah, I mean, all of those would be suspicious, possible, whatever. Don't you guys have the pumps in the used parts department for all the swaps? Yeah, but we don't want to. You don't want to use.
Well, the pump,
Used
we
pump.
usually keep the pump on the car because it still pressurizes the E-diff. If you
Right,
yeah.
so 430s you do,
yeah.
and then either way, you wouldn't want to reuse one of those pumps. I mean, there's no reason to. They're not that expensive.
Yeah.
We have tons of actuators. So if
Well,
someone
we
ever
have-
has an actuator go out,
we have a shed full of those.
the problem is we don't know all of which ones are really good and which ones are not.
Mm.
So, because a lot of times the cars come in and they're not necessarily working right.
Yeah.
We have not even touched the barn find yet. I started ordering parts and I've already ordered $5,000 in parts and we haven't even touched it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Are you going to wash it before you work on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. God.
I don't know. I've seen like 3 or 4 shorts where it's just still filthy sitting there.
Yeah.
We
Well,
haven't had time to
problem
wash
is-
it yet, and we have
we
to
have-
push it outside to wash it. That's the problem.
That's true.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those where we had so many other things going on. I didn't want to even touch it until we were ready to actually like spend a day on it.
Oh no, I
'cause-
get it.
Yeah, we got to push it outside, and I really want to get like some good pictures of it because that being that dirty lends itself to a before and after.
That's true.
You know, so
Yeah.
like I already can envision the thumbnail for that video is the before after, because I think just a video of cleaning the paint alone could be very fascinating. So,
Yeah.
someone asked on Instagram, what do we think of the 550 Maranello? Actually, the correct thing they said is, what is you mind on the 550 Maranello? I'm hoping English is not your first language, because if it was, your English teacher is crying right now. But 550s are great, but they're getting really expensive because they're manuals, and I think they're kind of overpriced. But that's me. The Fox project will happen someday. At some point, I'm just kind of, yeah. How much is the bus Toyota could have made a mint if they manufactured RVs in the US? Seriously, that thing would have been a perfect little RV if they would have sold those in the US. I don't like saying numbers during lives or anything because then someone anchors to that number. So I'd rather not say.
Email sales@ngsupercars.com.
Right.
Yeah.
It's most likely going to end up at like Cars and Bids or something because it's it's a unusual vehicle, just like the Land Cruiser Prado. We've already reached out to Cars and Bids where that's where that car makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's a perfect vehicle for Cars and Biz.
Yeah, totally. We had a few
That's
people
almost-
interested.
I'm sorry, Dan. That's almost one like I could see Doug doing one of those pre-videos on, a video prior to it going up on the auction block because it's just so damn cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they would send Doug out because we got basically like 3 things he could drive. He could drive that, the 6x6 Jeep, and the coaster.
Might be worth his while.
We'll sell all of those. I think I saw it. Cars and Bids emailed us about something, Josh.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know which car it was about, but whatever.
when was
Barrett
that?
Jackson car. But yeah, so we got geez, all right, let's go over the inventory. This would be a challenge right now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'll just go over everything in the shop because I'm gonna just visualize the shop mentally and then go through it. So we got the 458 that's waiting on parts. So the 488, we sent out the turbos, so those are out to get rebuilt. Should get those back in about 2 weeks. Then we got the Testarossa. We need to figure out what the hell we're gonna do with that thing because it's been sitting forever. We think we're gonna just take pictures and list it. as is, and then negotiate in the possibility of a major service instead of just trying to do the major, because it's going to take us weeks to do the major. And anyway,
Yeah.
the Jag is there someday. Maybe it'll get fixed. By the time we get to it, it's going to be out of fluid.
Yeah,
Well, hey.
probably.
Then we've got the new red tan 360 that we just got with 42,800 miles. Super clean. I mean, very clean. Which the only real big substantial thing is the seat bolster, which our leather guys coming out supposedly tomorrow, I think, right?
Yeah.
And so that'll be taken care of. We are going to do a major on it. We don't know when the last major was, but we looked at the belts, and the belts are from like 2020, 2021. So we think that the major service was 3 to 4 years old. So we'll just do it. The Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Then we've got what car is right there? It's a 430. Is that the new 430? Yeah. The 430 we just got, which has a possible pending deal already, so don't ask. It's probably already sold. Next to that's the barn find. Next to that is the yellow 360, just waiting on the intake manifold to come back from paint. And then we'll be able to wrap that up.
That car, Dan, I just got an email from somebody that you weren't copied on, but the car is sold.
The yellow one?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
Oh,
It's a guy that I've been going back and forth with
Oh.
for like a year now with like
Oh.
5 different cars. And he's like, that's the one I want. I'm ready to buy
Okay.
it. Tell me when. I'm like, all right.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Does he want the PPF removed?
Yes. Yeah, he wants it all like ready to go.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Well, then it's still on the same game plan. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Cool. Let's see. Then next to that is a client's car, the one that has the leak out of the transmission where the shift box seal is leaking. You're gonna love this, Josh. So Alan's working on those little wind guards,
Yeah.
and the screws on the old ones, when he took out the screws, they ripped their own threads apart,
Oh wow.
like completely destroyed themselves. And we're like, how does that even happen? Like, so I had to order new bolts for it, so we couldn't.
We didn't
put 'em
have
back.
anything that would work.
No, because it was a M5.08 or 0.8, and almost everything we have is an M6.
Yeah.
So whatever. And we decided, you know what, screw it, we're gonna put studs on it. This would be way easier to install with studs.
Oh, yeah. Just put studs on and then put a nut on.
Yep.
Okay.
So we ordered some studs. Those will be here tomorrow. Next to that is I think that's Scott's cars next to that. Pissing and oil all over my floors right now. Next to that's my old 430, my original 430. We have a new AC compressor for it. It needs a headliner repair. It needs the exhaust tip to be welded back on so it stops rattling. And we got to figure out why it's got a rough idle, and it like sometimes pops. So we think it's got an injector that's malfunctioning or sticking open.
Mm.
So it might be spraying some fuel into
We
it.
have a pretty badass injector tester and cleaner.
So we bought a very expensive injector tester cleaner that
That's
we're going to
cool.
test on
Yeah.
it. We figured, all right, it's probably one of those tools that it's worth the investment. You
Yeah.
know?
The older these cars get, the more you're gonna need it. So
So we bought that.
Can you see it spraying when it's in there?
Yeah. It's got the test tube.
Yeah, that's cool.
It does
Nice.
6 at once, so you can,
that's sweet.
heck yeah. I can't wait to see that thing running. And then we got another client's car. It just arrived late today. Fascinating story about that car. I'll talk about it in a second. And then last we have Josh's 355 in the shop. Then outside the shop, we have my 6x6 Jeep. We have the coaster bus and the Fox body. There, I'm impressed. I actually could.
Yeah.
I had to like literally in my mind visualize the shop and where everything is.
Wasn't there a Tahoe or something in the bus video? What was that?
It was just a friend's vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, this car we got in late today. Very nice client emailed us like I'm gonna say 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and tells me this story about how he he's got a very low mile, very clean 430 Spider, and had it converted by a shop. I'm not gonna say names. And
E.
it starts with an E, ends with an ag. And he gets the car back, and after like a very short period of time, it's having trouble shifting. So he sends it back. And apparently like the shift cable melted or something.
Whoa.
And they had to replace it. Yeah, right. And I guess they blamed it on the new headers or something. I don't know. Anyway, so they replaced the shift cable. And this was in January. And he gets the car back, and it's fine for like a very short period of time. And then now it's like messed up. It's not shifting again. And he's like, hey, it won't go into second and fifth. And I'm like, that's unusual, because typically if you're off, it'll be like it won't go into first and second, or it won't go into like fifth and sixth. Usually it's like in the same slot, but to have them be kitty corner on the gate is awkward. Like something's really weird there. Well, I don't know what's wrong with it yet, but they call us up. I go over, I pick up the car from the transporter, and I shift it into reverse and start letting off the clutch, and the car starts going back up the ramp forwards.
Oh no.
And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, that was unexpected. So I'm like, maybe I didn't put it in reverse. I'm like, no, it's in reverse. So I'm like, I don't think. Okay. So I like shifted around again, put it back in reverse, still going forward. I'm like, oh crap. So I slam it as hard as I can to the right, slam it as hard as I can to the left, put it in reverse, and it goes into reverse. I'm like, okay, cool. Got it in reverse. I put it into first, and it's clearly in third gear, because I'm like trying to release the clutch, and it's like stalling on me. I'm like, oh shit. So I end up stalling the car, like, and it's heavy traffic because I'm trying to like start it in third gear, even though it's in first. So I don't have first gear. Reversed is second gear. So, so I just left in third the whole way home back to the shop. And then I had to try and get it back into reverse again to put it in the shop. And this time I put it in reverse, and like it barely goes into reverse, and you can hear the synchros chatter as it like, because the forks are probably pushing on it. So I had to be I was so gentle on it. I'm like, man. So there's definitely something going on there.
It almost sounds like it's so bad that it was going to be very easy to diagnose and fix what the problem is. Because
I'm praying it's either one of those that's, like it's so far off. Just like my thinking is, I'm just going to disconnect everything, reset the shift box back to starting point 0, and then readjust everything from scratch. But what I'm scared is like, is there like the cables messed up? But it feels okay in the shifter. But interesting enough, just as a side note, we've had lots of different manual cars from various different conversion vendors. I do not like the feeling of the clutch on this car. And I do not like the shift gate. Anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about tomorrow, Josh. You'll feel it, and I want your opinion, because it's like just doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
Was it one of their early ones or what?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he said he had it done fairly recently.
Crazy.
But they were saying that he needed a new synchros. That was what he contacted us saying, like, hey, they want to replace they basically want to send out the transmission to get new synchros. And I'm like, how many miles are in this thing? It's like 8,000 something. I'm like, no. There's
If
no way.
that's the case, then they screwed something up royally when they did the conversion. And
There's just no way the synchros could be blown out on an 8,000 mile 430 transmission. I just
Did they do this pre or post raid?
that's why I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, did he even have the tools to do it correctly after the raid? You know
Don't
what
know.
I mean?
Don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns. I mean, it's one of those where, like, I kind of just laid it out very matter of fact when he emailed us about it. I said, like, here are the possible scenarios, all the way from best case to absolute worst case. Absolute worst being, yeah, it does need a new transmission. And I said, like, here's how we can help if that's what you want. And here's, like, kind of the estimated costs of all those different things. And he's like, take care of it. I'm like, okay, like, just so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
You know,
Poor guy.
I feel, that's honestly, I just feel
yeah.
terrible for him. And it's not even my fault. It's just one of those where, like, you see what he's dealing with and you're like, God, like, man.
Yeah. What is a synchro rebuild?
it's probably better to just throw a used transmission in it.
It might be,
Damn. Okay.
I'm going to
Crazy.
guess probably in the 10 to 15 range.
Okay.
Oof.
Because the parts alone are going to be many thousands of dollars. And then you got to have someone who's got the skills to take apart an entire transmission and replace all that stuff.
Yep.
And that's not something I'm going to do.
Well,
Well, if he has to get another used one, if he gives you that one, you could do it.
Yeah,
Learn
there
how
you
to
go.
do it.
Over the course of a year or two.
Yep.
But I just 8,000 miles on it. It just seems.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, unless it was like run without oil or something.
Yeah. Like, and even then, if the synchros were out, it went into gear fine. It just was the wrong gears.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be the synchros. That's like just a cable adjustment.
Have you ever had a synchro problem that wasn't grinding?
Yeah, it didn't
Like-
grind at all.
Yeah, grinding is like the fundamental issue with synchros, right? So
Yeah. It's like it has a hard time actually going into the gear.
yeah.
And so it's not, I mean, so at first I told him, I said, it's a possibility the clutch just needs to be bled because maybe the clutch is putting some pressure on the transmission if it's not fully disengaged. Because we've had that happen when we got those bad clutches. The clutch went fully disengaged. And so it's always putting just a little bit of pressure on the input shaft of the transmission. And so it would not go into gear.
Interesting.
But-
yeah.
This to me felt like it was just not aligned correctly. And I'm praying that for this guy's sake that that's what it is, because if that's true, it's going to be a pretty small bill. Like the shipping will have cost substantially more than the fix will cost.
Dang. Yeah. Is there any chance like the shift forks are bent or something? Cracked or
Possibly.
I mean it is metal. It could just be a
can.
shitty part or something, but yikes. It's just crazy that it's in different gears. Like that's more than a cable adjustment. It's gotta be.
No, I mean, I can see how. No,
Yeah?
we've had that happen when you're
Okay.
having the cables really far off. Like you can end up in the wrong gear because
it does all sorts of weird crap.
it only moves like this far.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's crazy how little movement actually happens to get it to cause it to go into different gears. And you're like, wow, like that's it. Okay.
Okay.
Shift cables crossed.
That wouldn't be
No,
an issue
that
at the
couldn't
start,
be it.
though.
That couldn't be it
Yeah.
because then you
Yeah,
couldn't
that-
have gotten into. Yeah, that would not have been it.
I think
That would
the
be
real story
funny.
here is that this guy has a 430 with 8,000 miles on it.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's only 8,000 miles on a 430.
Yeah,
Like,
it's super clean.
yeah, that thing has to be a cream puff.
I mean, like when I put on the lift to look, inspect everything when it came in, and like even the front bumper where there's always scrapes, there's only like 6 or 7 scrapes.
Wow.
Is that pushing the drive your car so it doesn't break on you line?
Yeah,
Is it driven enough? You know what I mean?
it's definitely approaching that point where if it hasn't been driven enough, it could have issues. That's what I mean. Richard's car that we bought from him, that blue 430, sat for too long and the rear main seal leaked.
How bad was his leaking?
Huh?
What you're experiencing now?
On Richard's car? I don't think it was a rear main, was it?
Yeah. Remember?
I don't
The rear
remember.
main leaked on it.
I don't remember that being a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Was it after
Yeah,
we sold it?
No, before we sold it, remember we did the conversion.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Like that one was the worst we've seen so far.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Josh, how are you feeling after selling that amazing 430 that you put all that work into?
It's fine. I've come to terms with it.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have fun with the 355 for sure, but wow, that 430 was perfect.
I
You're
know.
done with it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not trying to rub it in. I'm just my heart tweaked a little bit for you when I heard you sold it.
I don't know. I guess I just, when I'm done with the project, it's time for another one.
Yeah. Well, how about the 356? Does you still have it?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I don't drive. I need to drive it more. I haven't driven it much.
I haven't seen that thing forever.
Yeah.
When I come to get the car, please drive it that day. I would love to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'll certainly coordinate
Are you
with
gonna drive your car home?
I don't know. Like I want to. I have a wonderful fantasy of driving it back, but I have 2 herniated and 1 bulging disc. I'm an old man. I don't know if I can handle 12 hours in the seat of that Ferrari. I just don't know if I can do it. I'm trying to be realistic.
Yep.
About it.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I am going to come, whether I drive it back or not. I'm still going to fly down and visit. So
Sweet.
see it and all that stuff. It's a perfect opportunity to do that.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to that. I mean, at least you could get a good test drive out of it. And
Well, one of the, if you're a car guy and you're thinking about moving to Florida, don't, because there's nowhere to drive here. Nowhere. It's just straight roads, no curves, no hills. The only time I ever stretch that car's legs is on off and on ramps because those are the only curves I can find. So I kind of want to fly to Austin and stay, for perhaps, a couple nights and like go to Lime Creek or go up to the Hill Country or wherever. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'll talk to you, Dan, because I have to get some enjoyment out of this car other than just going stoplight to stoplight. It's killing me.
we've been talking about going to our friend's place down near San Antonio and doing like
Guy we got the bus from.
the guy we got the bus from and the Land Cruiser. They have a big old house, and they've invited us to come out there sometime with a group of car friends, and then we could go use that as home base to go drive out in the hill country. So maybe that would be a good excuse to do that when you come out here.
Okay.
Let's coordinate it.
Sold.
Sold.
Sounds
Like
awesome.
I plotted it, and we could do the Twisted Sisters from their house. It would be a long day to do all 3, but it's totally feasible.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of a better shakedown run than for a new conversion than to take it out. So perhaps we can work it all out.
Yeah. Best thing I ever did was move from Orlando to Austin.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we love the beach. We love a lot of things about Florida, but it took me about a year to look at my wife and say, I think we made a mistake. I think we made a mistake.
You didn't live there before, did you?
No, I was up in South Georgia, so I visited a lot, but living
Okay.
here is, quite
Georgia's got some good roads in North Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so beautiful up there, but not here, not in South Florida.
Yeah, I mean it's so flat.
Oh,
What
it's
is it?
just-
The highest elevation in Florida is something only like 900 feet.
yeah. I mean, it's like when I say there's no hills here. There's no hills here. Like there is not. It's just flat.
Yeah.
Bridges
You see
are
the
the highest.
curvature of the earth, so almost anywhere you go.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's so many exotic cars down there. People don't buy them to drive; they buy them to show off.
Mhm.
So Josh, you're exactly right. And when they, I've investigated like the runs they go on and the rallies they take, and it's just all highway. This is all highways, and they just go act like assholes on the highways with their ear splitting, Aventadors, but they don't have any fun other than just showing off.
Yeah.
And having moved from Austin, and even before that, San Diego, where they had amazing roads out there too. Like I'm in like some kind of weird car guy hell here.
Oh man.
Don't be like
So,
me.
Where in Georgia did you live?
Hey, I lived in Albany, and I lived in Douglasville, Marietta, in Atlanta. I went to college in Athens, so I lived all over South Georgia.
Cool.
Couldn't wait to get out. And now I'm back in the South, and I can't wait to get out.
Are you got any plans? Are you going to stay in Florida for a while, or what's your plan?
I have to. My kid's 14. He told me he'd murder me if we tried to move again. It was painful for them to get here, to leave their friends. But now that they're closer to high school age, I'm stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least 4 years. It's not that
So
bad.
if you're going to move before they hit high school. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, we moved. This was the move right before
Yeah.
high school to here.
Yeah.
But like I said, we realized that was probably not the best move here. But there's always the beach. The beach is fun. I can't complain.
Rachel.
Megan must be sending you pictures then. Our yard this year looks like we've had a decent amount of rain the last few weeks, and it looks just phenomenal right now. But it's only going to last like another couple of weeks until it looks like shit.
Yeah. Until everything dies.
It's like enjoy it while you can because it's all going to die. So it's a bad idea to buy a car from Florida. Sometimes we've definitely noticed cars from Florida.
Due diligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to look them over because a lot of times they'll have rust and stuff from all the salt in the air.
Or corrosion on the aluminum or
Yep.
Flood damage.
Or flood damage,
Yeah.
right?
Or,
Yeah.
or sketchy title issues. Like everything bad comes from Florida.
Yes, our Tail of the Dragon trip is only a week and a half away or whatever.
Yeah.
It's only a week and a half. Shit.
I know. I was like, oh crap! I need to service the GT40 next week
10 days. Yep.
crap.
I'm
So,
definitely
are
not going to have the 355 ready by then. There's no way.
You don't think so?
I can try, but I don't think so.
Because if you're not going to do it, then are we going to haul Tyler or Greg's car or something up?
Yeah, but they'll have to figure out how to
Drive
get it
back.
back. But yes,
Yeah.
we can do that if I don't bring it.
We've got shipping arranged finally,
Oh, you did.
but who knows?
Because there's a 458 in Knoxville that we're going to pick up that we bought, and I'm going
Nice.
to take that on the tail if I don't
Okay.
get the 355. I'd honestly rather have the 355, but I don't want to rush it. And
Yeah. Screw something up.
Right.
James, you and Melissa going? Well, I'm asking like he's going to respond to me.
He will in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Depends how long his delay is.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see them.
Oh, Rachel's upgrading her Tahoe. Suggestions for a luxury SUV. It can't go back to being low to the ground.
get a
And
Cayenne.
It
Yeah,
can't fit-
Cayenne
Oh, a Cayenne.
or
That's what
G-Wagon.
Not a G-Wagon.
No, the G-Wagons are so
They
ugly.
drive like crap.
They do. They drive like ass.
Yeah.
I do not
It
understand.
really
it.
depends on your budget. Like you could do a Q8 or something, Audi or SQ8
Yeah.
or
This,
RSQ8.
someone just posted this. My mom had a SQ8, not the RSQ8. But after like 4 years, it just started falling apart, like electrical problems, all sorts of crazy shit. So
G-Wagon equals toaster.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
But it
it's
would
just-
be funny to ride around.
Lord. I just thought they ride so rough.
Oh, they're terrible, but
Like it's just the ride quality is ass.
I don't have to buy one, so sorry.
True.
Rich.
High
Every
end
couple years,
turbo.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, the cream of the crop. Every couple of years, I have to convince my wife not to get a G-Wagon.
Oh.
And I tell her the same thing. Listen,
Dude.
the thing rides like a tractor. You truly don't want this thing.
No.
But
They ride so bad. And they're
Yeah.
just kind of built awful. It's just not good. They rust. They like meh. Whatever.
yeah.
On Instagram, someone asked, "What's the best entry level Ferrari for a $100,000 budget?"
A gated 360.
It's kind of the only answer,
360.
right?
Yeah, you really can't get 430s for 100 anymore.
Not a decent one.
Yeah, when it's
It's
got
gonna be a turd that you're gonna be dumping money into for $100 grand.
yeah. So Rachel, the Japanese bus.
Yeah. There you go.
That's not really the definition of luxury. I guess you got the doilies on the seats.
Right.
Doilies. Yeah, right.
There's a fridge in it. Come on, that's a luxury.
It's
item.
not a fridge. It's got like 45 cup holders and the AC when it works is blowing cold as hell. I gotta get more water.
Yep.
The Telluride, we're not gonna recommend it. Yeah, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
They just copy everything so bad. Like
One-
unashamed copying stuff.
Yeah, and they're still garbage cars. They don't last.
Yeah.
Go 100,000 miles and you're ready to throw them away.
Can you even get insurance on them yet? Like, do they figure out the
The
whole?
Telluride, I think you can. I think it was the cars like the Optima and the
Okay.
whatever the Sport, whatever the other one is.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You could start it with a USB plug.
Yeah. I thought the Telluride was on that list too, but maybe not.
That's interesting.
I don't really like the look of the Telluride. I think they're ugly, but that's just
Yeah.
my personal opinion on it.
Nothing's anywhere as bad as the new Santa Fe, Hyundai Santa Fe.
Oh,
Got
those
the
are
stupid.
those look like somebody took a huge paddle and like smacked it right in the
John's not listening because he's at work, but like we were coming back from one of the Ferrari events, and there was one that like his F12 was just perfectly blocking one of the lights, and they're in this weird H pattern, and it just looked like a pixelated penis. The way it was like blocking a bit of it,
Yeah, they're pretty terrible.
it's so bad, so bad.
Lord.
One new SUV that I do really like, and I want to try driving one is the new 4Runner.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you've looked at
those do look good.
They look kind of retro. The interior's supposed to be pretty nice. They do
Yeah.
have a 4-cylinder hybrid now,
Mm.
which kind of sucks. but
Isn't the Ford Bronco supposed to be pretty solid?
Yeah, my brother has one. He loves it.
not the Bronco.
Huh?
Listen,
I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
they're
heard they're
good. They're pretty tiny inside. Like I don't know
That's
if you
the only
like,
thing.
they're,
I don't think
they're
very
almost
big.
like it feels like a Jeep Wrangler when you're in there. It's very narrow.
No.
But they're so proud of those Broncos that the markups are so high. They're just sitting there like they're rotting.
feel like-
And
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like the Bronco is for someone that wants to buy a Jeep but's trying to be cool and edgy and doesn't want to buy a Jeep like everyone else. Like, I'm going to get the
Because
Bronco.
Jeeps are awful.
Yeah, they're just terrible vehicles.
I mean,
Yeah,
at
you
least
know.
the Bronco seems like it's a reasonable vehicle versus a Jeep is just.
Yeah.
Jeeps
It's not.
are
it's not
only
as
good
capable.
off road.
Yeah, it's not quite as capable, but it's 99% there.
Nobody's taking those off road anyway.
My brother
The
does,
Raptors-
but
the Bronco Raptors look pretty dope.
Yeah.
I think they look cool.
Aren't
But
they
you
like
were-
100 grand for
Yes.
God,
For a Ford.
people are
Yeah.
really
for a tiny Ford SUV.
But Josh, have you priced out those Land Cruisers? They are expensive.
Yeah.
Which
For-
one? Oh, the 4Runner?
Oh, did you say 4Runner or Land Cruiser? 'Cause
4Runner. I don't like the
Okay.
Land Cruiser. I like the 4Runner. But
Okay,
even
okay,
the
got it.
4Runner, like you get a decked out 4Runner that's like 65, 70 grand.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if you would. Well, I don't. I was gonna say, you should try Meg's Mach-E, but I don't know if you take your vehicle on longer road trips, so it probably can't do electric, or it wouldn't make sense to do electric. But I've been really pretty pleased with Meg's Mach-E. I mean, it's been pretty solid. We had our first minor weird issue with it actually today. For some reason, the charger didn't charge last night, even though it was plugged in. And so I went out there, and she's like, "Look, I don't know what's going on. It's plugged in. It's not charging." I go out there, in the charger brick, the light is not on, but the fuse did not kick off.
Oh, weird.
So I cut the breaker, turned it back on. The light came back on, and it started charging. So I'm wondering if like there's something in the actual charger box that it just like had an electric reset or something.
Should have bought a Tesla. Should have bought a Tesla.
No, definitely not. I'm sorry. I will never own a Tesla. No,
Thank you.
no.
Dan care too much about the politics of it all.
I do. I don't want to get my car keyed by existing.
Yeah.
I like having my cars not be political statements.
It's just such a good value. Couldn't say no.
So was the Mach-E. That was a $70,000 car we got for $30,000.
For a reason.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, it's got a 10-year warranty on the battery, so who cares? And I'm sorry. I've been in a bunch of Teslas. The Mach-E is built 10 times better than a Tesla. The build quality is way better.
It still feels like a Ford though inside. It's just
but
it even has the Ford's rental car smell that I can't.
Good. I love that.
Whatever you do not get an Ineos.
Oh.
I'm sorry if you have one, Greg, but no.
Is that the Hyundai one?
No,
that's the one that looks like the old Defender.
Grenadier or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like 100 and something thousand too.
They're pieces of shit. Like
they're super expensive.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway,
what other cars can we bash on? Come on.
Yeah. What I was wondering the graphic and everything, right? Jeez. Why are the 355s so expensive knowing the full cost?
They're badass.
Because they're awesome. Once you drive one, you're like, I get it.
The sound, the looks.
The sound, yeah.
I mean,
they're the forbidden fruit. You know they're going to treat you poorly, but you want.
It's like having the girlfriend or whatever that's like crazy and super high maintenance, but you just can't help yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But the other thing is, everyone always says, "Oh, they're so expensive to maintain," but it's a known thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, it's expensive to maintain it, but you also know it's coming, so you can plan for it really easily.
Be right back.
You know. Oh, there is the Cadillac, whatever.
That's electric too, though, isn't it? The IQ.
Well, the IQ, but you could get a regular
IQ.
Cadillac Escalade, but I think those are awful. I would so much rather see a Yukon than a Escalade.
Yeah.
I saw one of those electric Escalades the other day. There's this guy on the side of a neighborhood that has one, and it's pretty badass looking on the road.
They look
The
very
electric
nice.
one.
Yeah, they look nice, but
yeah,
they're also super expensive.
Expensive as hell. Oh my god, yeah, you could probably buy a small house.
Dude, I'm sure in 2 years they're gonna be worth 1/4 of what they cost. Get a Fisker Ocean. Good luck. That's what they say when you drive off the lot. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Hope we're not bankrupt in 2 years. Man. Oh shit. What's it called? What's that weird other electric, but it's electric, so never mind. But I was say, shoot, Rivian.
Oh yeah,
Rivian.
Those
Yeah.
are really, really nice.
Mhm.
they are.
I have to say.
I've got a deposit down on the R2.
Do you?
So whenever that comes out, I think beginning of 26. I think they're saying. Hopefully,
yeah.
maybe. We'll put one in because the Tesla we've got is a lease, and so it might work out nicely. Where
Which Tesla do you have?
the Y.
Okay.
So you know, my wife was looking for an electric car. Her nickname is Indecisive Amy because she can never make up her mind. But she test drove the Y. She got out and said, this car. And as a husband who's dealing with indecisiveness for 20 years, I'm like, great, this is the one.
Right.
But they had the new model coming in, and they were getting rid of old inventory, and because of that and the tax incentive and all that, our lease is like $300. I mean, it's nothing
Oh,
to get
damn.
this car. Yeah, so it was like it was kind of a no-brainer to get it. She wanted it, was fine with it. It was cheap.
Yep.
It's a win. It's a win-win. So,
Heck
I
yeah.
feel like leasing brand new electric cars is one of the only times it actually makes sense to lease vehicles, like financially, because they're so like certain ones are so cheap with all the incentives and whatever,
Yeah.
and then you don't have to worry about any of the crap like long term with it. I mean, we took a calculated risk on the Mach-E. We're like, okay, it's only 2.5, 3 years old. It's got a 10-year warranty in the battery. So let's say we use it for another 6 years before the
Mhm.
warranty's up with the battery. And by the time we're done with it, worth 10 grand or something like that. But we only paid 30, so we're only gonna lose 20 grand. So 20 grand over 6 years. I'll take that.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not
works
bad.
out. Works out.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the new Scouts that have the gasoline
Yeah.
generator on board.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It looks so good too.
Yeah.
And they nailed that design.
They do.
We'll see. 2028 is a long ways away. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
it
that
is.
far out? Jeez. Yeah.
Having said all that, I really love driving that Tesla. And I got to be honest, it has driven us more than we've driven it. We're full self-driving 100 every single time we get in the car, we're full self-driving. It's pretty impressive. So
Until it's
listen, everyone's got their strong opinions right now, but if we can just get down to the brass tacks of the actual car, it's pretty badass.
I will say, did you happen to see Veritasium's tests of the different self-driving systems? And
Was
they
it
Was it Veritasium or Mark Rober?
or Rover?
oh, sorry, it was Mark Rover. That's right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
I wish
But yeah.
Veritasium would do one because theirs would probably be really good.
really cool.
yeah.
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 But yeah, so they did like a Wile E. Coyote and it failed. It drove into a painted picture. It's and it makes sense because like LiDAR, I don't understand why no one's using a combination of LiDAR plus optics.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that
money.
to me,
That's why.
yeah, it's expensive. But I mean,
I think I saw a couple of videos where people recreated that and it did stop.
they
What's up,
retried it.
buddy? They retried it. I've seen minimum two videos where people recreated that to show that whatever he was doing didn't, his methodologies wasn't right. Who knows?
Maybe he's
Maybe it's an older
Yeah.
version they updated or something. I don't know. But either way, that the optic thing does pose problems because, like, when you explain it, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense because if it can't see, it can't see. Just like us. Versus LiDAR can actually shoot through stuff that you can't see, like clouds and whatever. Like,
Mhm.
so, oh well, whatever. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. And have
Yeah,
you
it
seen? So they just got a bunch of the Waymo cars are in Austin now,
Yes.
and have you been reading the articles about it? Apparently, there have been large scale complaints about Waymo cars doing dumb stuff.
Nice.
And I saw a video the other day where someone just abandoned the Waymo on Mopac because it was trying to go the wrong way down Mopac, and they're like, "No, hell no, I'm getting out."
Oh, they kick it out. When I was in Phoenix, they were like, "No, the car locks you in. You can't get out until your ride's over." And I was like, "Well, I'm not taking that. Screw
Oh
that."
hell no, yeah, no way.
Yeah.
I saw a video of a guy shooting down at a parking lot from his apartment, like in San Francisco or somewhere, and all the Waymos it was the Waymo parking lot where they would go to recharge and get service or whatever. And then like at 5 a.m. when they're starting to activate and go on calls, they created a traffic jam and they all started honking at each other. And so it was just a bunch of robot cars honking at each other in a parking lot, just a mismatch of cars. And he's just filming and saying, "This happens every day."
That's amazing.
I get woke up every morning by a bunch of autonomous cars.
So awesome. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
There was another I thought was hilarious was there was a video someone did. It was I don't remember who. Well, anyway, one of the other YouTubers did a video of Stradman's Strad Pizza grand opening, which looked like an absolute shit show. I mean,
Yes.
like 10,000-15,000 people there, right? Just look chaos. And someone had a Waymo summoned to that parking lot, and the Waymo's trying to get through a crowd of 10,000 people in a parking lot. And it was just awesome. So Waymo, you can tell the Waymo's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just people. I don't know what I'm doing.
There's just people everywhere. I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
That's funny. I saw one of those new Chargers in the domain yesterday, and oh my God, they're ugly in pictures. They're even worse in person. It was like, so bad.
Oops, clicking the wrong button. Lordy.
I kind of like them.
You can double pull the door and it'll open. Well, that's good to know because everything I read said it was locked you in. So
I wouldn't be getting in any car I couldn't get out of at any time. Like, what happens to catching on fire?
yeah.
When you catch it on fire, you got to call support. Hey, support. Yeah, the car's on fire. Would you mind letting me out, please?
I've seen YouTube videos of a Waymo that was stuck driving around a parking lot in circles, and the guy's on the phone with tech support and is like, "I can't get out of the car. Can you fix it?" And they're like, "Oh no, we can't."
Oof.
I don't know. I don't know if that was true or not, but
Or maybe he didn't double pull it, because I could see where someone's dumb enough to just pull it once, and give up.
Yeah,
They've never ridden in a BMW before.
that was a Jag. But
Well, I know, but European BMW thing is a double pull.
Yep.
Oh well. I saw that video too, where Hoovie purposely kind of like drifted lanes right in front of a Waymo, and it honked at him.
That's awesome.
I thought that was the best part of that whole video. I was cracking out, like, holy crap! It legit was like mad at him. It was like, hell no, get out of here. Anyway, what you got there? What you doing, buddy? Oh, you running away? Okay, cool.
I like the look of the Charger. I've always been a fan of like just big, like muscular sedans, and that one, fits the bill. But it's universally hated on its performance and its battery range. So they totally dropped the ball, but it could have been. And they dropped the ball because they said we're done with V8s, and about a month after the things went on sale, they leaked plans that they were going to start putting ICE engines back in them.
Yep.
So they're scrambling hard.
Yeah.
But Hellcat with the electric assists on that thing would be pretty nice.
Already seen the market of exotics in the incoming months and near future. We have seen some correction even before the tariffs were announced. If by correction you mean prices going up, we are seeing prices going up. The wholesale auctions are up for sure. So I hate to say it, but if you wanted a cheap used car, it's too late. They're all going up. Yeah, like the last 2 weeks of auctions, not looking good. Prices are definitely going up.
Yeah.
That's good to know. When I bought the 360, I don't know, for about a month afterwards, I kept looking just to see, where prices were. No. Well, I kind of was punching myself in the face because they had dipped a little bit. But that I know that's a very, very narrow moment of time, and I shouldn't be doing that. But
I feel like the 360s are kind of going up. 430s definitely are going up, and 458s are for sure going up. So, like a couple months ago, you could pick up 458s for like 180, 190, and that's basically almost gone now. There's only a handful left under 200. So, like, we had a consultation client. He wanted to get a 458, 20-ish thousand miles plus or minus a bit, red tan, pretty typical spec, and basically like the cheapest we could find is like 220.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, for 458, which 6 months ago that would have been 175.
Yeah, that's COVID pricing, because that's when I started passing up 458s 4 years ago.
Yeah. I remember for a while they went up to like 250.
Yeah,
it was silly. But
Dan, you remember when we went to the Biltmore? I think 599s around then were just over $100,000.
Yeah, no. When I bought
They
mine,
were so cheap.
When I bought mine, I barely paid six figures.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I accidentally caught the absolute bottom of the market on 458s and 599s.
Yeah. And if I remember right, it wasn't long before that the Testarossas were just resting at 100 or slightly below.
No, way below 100.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
Remember days like that.
I remember multiple people I know picked up Testarossas at like 75. Like good ones, clean ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes buying one and then having to do a full major on it not so big of a deal if you can just look a little forward,
Yeah, you're getting 15 years of free majors with that price, basically.
Is Tyler ready to sell you the 599? He's already asked us if we wanted to buy it. We just didn't agree on a price. So,
yeah. The thing is, the people that have money are always going to have money, just a little bit less.
Yeah.
So, and the supply and demand. I mean, the supply is low, the demand's high, prices go up.
Right now, the supply still seems low for sure on the exotic car market, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is there's just no one wants to sell their cars. So, I think this is just maybe a bit more macroeconomic than microeconomic, but I feel like there's a mental shift that's happened in the collectible and enthusiast car market where everyone got so hyped up into the make money on the car thing that it like created a fever pitch that drove prices up. And then that crashed post COVID, right? And so all those prices came back down. And I think now we're in the like we're in the post nut clarity where it's back to the enthusiasts buying cars because they love cars. And so people aren't selling them because like, oh yeah, this is a really good car. I shouldn't sell it. So that's why like there's no 458s for sale. There's no 430s for sale. There's not that many 360s for sale because everything that's come out since is hybrids, turbos, whatever. Like all that type of car is gone. And so if you have one, you're kind of like, well, they aren't going to make this anymore. So I'm not going to sell it. Yes, I did just say that.
Yeah. You said it very clearly too.
Yeah.
Don't read into that though.
Yeah, exactly. People that love their cars like their cars. That's what it feels like to me. Like I don't know. And that's totally just me spouting off an opinion that's based in nothing more than observations and probably not reality. But that's how I feel. And I don't know. I could be way off, so don't listen to me. Poor financial advice by Dan. But yeah, it's strange right now. I mean, every time we get a good Ferrari, it sells so quick.
Mm.
And I mean, people are constantly asking us, "Hey, can you help me find this? Can you help me find that?" And we're like, "No," because they're not out there. So it's really interesting. Oh yeah, I mean the whole transport thing is
Don't
definitely been
use
going
central
through.
transport. I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah.
Use somebody that you trust and that's got insurance.
Yeah. Funny enough, the transport today, I was really impressed with it. So I get to go pick up the 430 that got shipped to us today. I walk up and he's like, "Oh, okay," you know. And it's like 1 second, and he calls my cell phone, and it rings, and I pick it up, and I show, and he's like, "Oh, show me the screen," and I show him the screen. He's like, "Okay, that's my number. Good, you can pick it up."
Cool.
And I was like, "Oh, that's a
That's the
quick
first
little-"
time I've ever seen that.
Yeah." I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow." I'm like, "Good thing I
Covering
called
your
my
ass.
cell phone."
Yeah, he's doing a little CYA on that one.
But that's what they should be doing. I mean, if they have the cell phone of the person who's supposed to pick it up, and they call it and they aren't there, all right. And he's like, and he said, he's like, "I get lots of people saying it's my car," and I'm like, "I can see that, you know." Okay, I will sell you my red tan 458 for 220,000 Canadian. I mean, if there weren't the import taxes, I would be like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah." But I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to deal with it right now.
Oh, you didn't say how many miles are on it either.
Oh, that's valid.
But you guys stay away from Canadian cars generally, right?
Yeah.
Generally, because they do have, like, it's so stupid. People are like, "Oh, it's a Canadian car." It's like, it's the same damn thing.
Yeah. Well, I think Lars is in the US, right? But Hugh isn't.
You know,
Oh.
when I was looking at 360s and you originally told me that, as a car guy who's looked at, searched for, and bought tons of cars over the years, it would have never have crossed my mind to not buy a Canadian car for one reason or another.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't have a problem with them. They're much harder to sell because people have this weird stigma about them, I guess.
It makes
Yeah,
no
that's what I'm
sense.
getting at. I'd never even heard of it, that there would be a.
I don't know why they would care.
85.000 miles.
Someone's
Yeah. Maybe you're not in the US because you use
Oh,
dots
I
instead
know.
of commas.
I'm just giving them a hard
Yeah.
time. We use commas in the US, not period. I don't
Yep.
think Canada used periods either.
That's
don't
a
think
European thing, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
certain European countries use the periods instead of commas, and then they use the commas where the periods are supposed to go. And yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And they like to put the $sign after the number, not before. I can't stand that. That drives me nuts.
I do like that most of those countries use the tax is already inclusive in the price, so the
Yeah.
price you see is what you
Yeah.
pay. Oh, it's so much easier. So dumb to not have tax.
Yeah. Well, the reason we can't do it here is because every jurisdiction has a different tax rate, which
Yeah.
is also stupid.
It's so dumb.
Yep.
How do we make the tax code as complicated as possible? Step 1, localize it down to the city level. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Since you have transport, it may make sense to retrieve your large, small inventory during the scamming of central transport.
We have
mean-
guys that we trust, so and they have insurance. I'm not really too worried about it.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to be, I don't know, pretty legit so far.
Yeah. Shady drivers, but the companies are legit.
Well, we spent how much last year? Like 70 grand shipping cars
Over $75,000 last year just in
and
transportation.
didn't have a single problem. So, knock on wood.
With the doors open.
Fellas, always wondered what y'all drive. Well, I've got my GT40. Scott is a Lambo dude.
With the doors open.
You're
No,
total
you forgot-
Lambro.
He likes to ghost
You
ride
forgot-
it.
You forgot to say with the medallion sitting on top
Oh.
of my chest here.
And like LV plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
He should show you his jewelry cabinet. He probably has a necklace with a Mercedes star necklace.
Pinky rings.
That's
Countach
like,
will always be my favorite car. So you
Really?
may have got me there, but I probably wouldn't drive with the doors open very often.
you don't seem like a Lambo dude to me, but I guess I know you well, so
I'm not a Lambro. I
No.
just love I love great design, and that Countach was groundbreaking for so it's just that one stuck with me. But over the years, I own a Ferrari, so I could have bought a Lamborghini.
You chose the white
But over the years, I've shifted over to the Ferrari. But
because you actually want to drive.
in Florida,
I mean, a Lambro would definitely fit better where you live
Yeah.
right now.
yeah. So no fault on pegging me as a Lambro, but being close to Miami, but that's not the case exactly.
You paused a little too long there on no thought on pegging you.
Oh, really?
I noticed.
Whatever you think I said, it wasn't an invitation. It wasn't an invitation. Whatever whatever I said.
Oh, I love it.
Man. Oi. Dude, the allergies killing everyone else still.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we're getting some rain and knock some of the pollen out of the air.
I don't miss that.
We got lucky last night. There was some serious hail that hit Georgetown, but it missed us by, I don't know, maybe a mile or two or something.
Nice.
What's going on there?
She's got like the face mask thing on.
Okay. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah,
It's forever on the internet.
Right. Josh, you should put them on and get your skincare routine going
I should.
before bed.
Oh Lord. Can tell we're all tired this week.
I'm exhausted.
It's been a long week.
Dude, it's been
I had a turn in yesterday. I woke up in the morning. I went to North Carolina. And I came back that night.
Dang.
Sorry, Josh. I didn't mean to open the door for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on.
Here you go. Now you're watching the NFL draft.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Very good, Emma.
That's right. Yeah.
Or
Somebody
49.
screenshot that.
No more.
Lord. Oh, those things didn't stick that hard.
Yeah.
No, they're like gel.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Josh, you look refreshed.
Yeah.
Oh
I wish I
man.
felt refreshed.
Oh, she's got more.
Oh,
Taylor, go Taylor's boyfriend. What is that?
Kelsey,
Oh, Dan doesn't watch football.
yeah.
No.
Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
It's Taylor
But he's a
Swift's
big Taylor
boyfriend
Swift fan.
plays for this.
Oh. Oh yeah. Oh,
And
I
that's the
forgot about
sweatshirt that she got.
That's awesome.
that. Okay, that actually looks funny then.
Yep.
That actually is kind of funny.
Well, my daughter's 9 and she wears sweatshirts that are like 10. Sorry, she just turned 10. That are like adult larges because that's the cool thing I guess nowadays is to wear oversized sweaters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the
So that's
90s are back.
in.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you wait long enough, everything comes back into style.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
My wife bought some baggy jeans that are not quite like Janko baggy, but like,
Oh yeah, Allison's got those too.
yeah. And she's like, look what's back in. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like we're teenagers again. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, these things are hot. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. I have no idea. I'm so out of the loop.
I think bell bottoms have come and gone about 3
Oh, yeah.
times since the 70s,
Yeah.
I'm a nerd, not knowing about Taylor Swift, and I just have other things to do.
Yeah, you got better things to fill your mind with.
I
not
think he's
give-
the opposite of a nerd for not knowing that. Like it's admirable that he doesn't know that.
See, I'm so out of all of like modern like trendy whatever crap. Like Meg's way into that. Like she knows all this stuff and terms and whatever, and she'll be like, "Oh, blah blah blah." I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking. I'm gonna be that guy when my kid gets older. Hey, Dad, you're such a fill in the blank with some word I don't know what it means. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you just said. Get off my lawn.
Dan's an Ohio Rizzler.
There you go.
What? Ohio? What?
Ohio Rizzler. Look it up.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even think I want to.
You probably don't.
Because first of all, how dare you say anything about Ohio to me as a
Yeah.
someone from Michigan? Skibbity. I have heard that only because Josh told me that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skibbity
Well, I have two kids. I have two kids that, have all that slang going on, and it's interesting to learn the new words. they're
Yeah.
using.
Bob the building.
I'm definitely the lamest adult in this right here.
If your kids were if your boy was 10 or so, you'd be steeped in all of it.
Yep.
I am.
Probably.
You'll have all the new stuff in 6-7 years,
Mhm.
and everyone else will be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be some new words, I'm sure.
Cat.
Can't wait. No. Not really. But yeah, I don't pay attention to any professional sports at all or that stuff. I just don't have time. Like if I have free time, I'm probably trying to do something with my kid or work. What do I do for fun? I work.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're at work? I work. What do you do when you're not at work? I work.
Think about work.
Yeah, literally. God, it's hard to shut it off sometimes. I haven't had a vacation in a while.
Yep.
Even this trip to the Dragon is still going to be basically work
Yeah.
indirectly.
Yeah, Dan, you used to or either still do have that vacation channel, right? I haven't posted on that in forever.
Oh, I created the Dan and Meg channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's
But did
funny?
you go like Bora Bora or something? Or
We've
where
done
was that?
Malaysia, Indonesia, Africa, Cayman Islands, lots of stuff. We used to Meg and I used to take 1 or 2 big trips a year.
Hmm.
That was always our thing. Every year we wanted to take at least 1 or 2 big trips, get out of the country. And since Turkey Man's been born, we haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And arguably also since really taking and switching out of software, this is so much more consuming of your entire life. It's hard to get away.
It's easy to
Yeah,
turn off another
don't
business you work for.
Right. Well, if you're still getting paychecks when you're not around, it's really easy to.
Don't wake up one day with your formidable years passed you by, my friend.
I know. The only good news is I really like what I do.
There's that.
There's
Definitely that.
that is the big trade-off, right? There's never a day where I'm like, God, I hate this. I wish I didn't have to do this today or something. Like, never happens. But, whew, well, it's 9:30.
Yep.
Clearly, we're tired. And
I feel
Josh
great.
apparently needs like I don't know, what face mask or
Face mask.
whatever,
Yeah.
A mud mask?
something
Yeah.
like that.
I guess I'll get the treatment here in a minute.
Are those snail stem cells?
Yeah.
Thanks for putting in there.
That would be probably helpful, actually.
My wife has those. Like they're stem cells from snails. Apparently, that's what she tells me.
Really?
The kind, yeah.
That's the thing.
What is
That's why
that?
she looks 20 and she's 53. Snails, I guess.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, we'll see you guys next week, but then the week after will be, well, maybe, I don't know. We might do a live from the tail,
Maybe a short one.
maybe a short one.
I don't know.
It's gonna be a shit show if we do, because there's gonna be a lot of people. I don't know. Anyway,
Might be fun.
all right. I'll see you next week.
Bye.